My name is Samantha and I'm known here on YouTube as the Hygge Stitcher. Welcome to my home here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I'm really excited to be back. It's been about a month since my last video and I have been busy preparing this episode. I have been stitching a ton. I have recently cleaned up my Stitchy space, which feels really good. I kind of rearranged some of my pictures and just organized all of my projects, which felt really good. It feels clean and organized now. So I'm back, I'm ready. I have a ton of stitching. It's been about a month since my last video, and during the summer months is when I get a lot of stitching done. So I hope that you are comfortable and that you have your cross stitch out and that you're stitching away, having a great day, and looking for some company. I'm here to share with you my very new, my newest new start. This is a Mirabilia, of course, one of my favorite designers. This is the Scent of Old Roses. It's a chart that I've had in my collection for a little while. This chart was gifted to me by a lovely stitcher here in Winnipeg. And the more time I spent looking at this chart, the more that I realized I don't have anything like this. She's a beautiful, fancy lady, beautiful colors. And I was really drawn to the fabric choice of this stitch. I have never used Laurel Linen before by Witchelt, and I have always wanted to give it a try. And so I recently purchased it and bought all the colors. And I've brought out all of my colors here to show you. I have started it. I'm going to show you how far I've gotten so far, but I wanted to show you the beautiful colors on this fabric. It's very stunning. In this chart, you'll notice there's a lot of blues and purples and browns and golds, light blue. And then you see these beautiful pops of color for the roses, which are going to be really, really fun to stitch. And those are some of the bright colors that you're seeing here on the fabric. Isn't it fantastic? So that's, once I had kitted up this project last month, I immediately knew that I couldn't wait till, the fall months in order to start this project. Early September, well, mid-September, I brought this out and got my first few stitches in. I started right in the middle of the design, which most of the time I do with the chart. This one, however, I was very tempted to start at the top and work my way down. But then I decided not to. I went back to my roots of how I usually start a project and started right in the middle, which I believe was these colors right here, right around here. And this was actually really, really fun to do. It's a lot of block stitching, which I enjoy. And I really enjoyed putting those colors into the fabric. It was fun. I was hoping to get a little bit farther along. I wanted to complete, like I did on this side, I completed this light blue color and I wanted to get it done on this side too. What you're seeing in these spaces right here is the part of her dress that is stitched in Whisper. And that's that fuzzy, soft, white, fuzzy floss. That Whisper is really fun to use by Rainbow Gallery. And I'm gonna save that closer to the end, I think, just to keep that soft, fluffy look to it as closer to the end of the stitch. Right here, you will see there's some spots. This is all gonna be some of those red roses colors, which I'm excited to do too. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put this away just yet. I might keep it out for a little bit longer, just to get a little bit farther along in the design, but we'll see. I have some projects calling me. Really, I do. I brought out Shakespeare's Fairies. This is a stitch that I like to stitch in the fall. And I brought her out, I put her on the Q-snap because I have been thinking a lot about her and I want to put some more progress in. I have completed most of the first fairy. There's 3 fairies in that chart and I want to get the second one going. So I'm put it out to tempt me so that I could, be drawn to stitch her right away. But I wanted to bring up something that I've been thinking a lot about. My Mirabilias, they are big projects. They take some time to stitch. If I were to stitch on one Mirabilia, it could take me like a whole season. You know, if I was just to stitch on one project, I could probably finish it, you know, during the summer months or during the autumn months and complete one if I were just to stitch only on one project. But if you space it out and work on multiple projects like I do, it takes a few years. You know, it could take a few years to finish a project. But what I like about that and what I wanted to talk to you all about was how if you stitch on one Mirabilia and you from start to finish, when you're first starting out, there's not a ton to look at. You know, you're just getting the bones in, and there's a lot to build off of once you've started. And it takes some time to see what you're doing, and it's exciting, and I love that part. But over my years of stitching them, I have come to this part where if I start it from the beginning to the end, fully stitch it, all the back stitching, all the beading, and it's completely done, it's hard after you're completed one to start right from scratch again. In my opinion, I have a hard time with that. And so it's kind of fun to have different Mirabilias at different stages, different seasons throughout the year. And what I mean by that is it's fun to have projects that are in the exciting, I'm so excited to start this project, that's awesome. And then it's also fun to pick up a project that you are halfway done. You know, maybe you have her hair and her wings and the beginning of her dress done, but you have the full bodied dress at the bottom still to do. And it's fun to pick up those and work on them. And then it's also exciting to have projects that are at the very end, where I have stitched it, I have back stitched it, and now it's time to bead. And I currently have a project that is at that stage. Stargazer was a project that I had started a few years ago, and she's fully stitched and she's ready to be beaded. And so it's exciting to have these projects done at different stages, so that when you're in the mood to bead, you have a project ready to go. And so that's kind of what I've been working on and building over the last couple of years, is projects at different stages so that I can enjoy the process. As you can tell, I'm a process stitcher. And I just thought I would explain that a little bit more of my thought process on my Mirabilias, those big projects. They're a lot of fun. Here's another new start. This was a birthday start for me in August, last month. This is a Joan Elliott Fairy of the Rainbow. You've heard me talk about this for months because I've been dreaming it up, trying to find the perfect fabric. Check, done that. And, you know, kitting up the whole project and saving it for my birthday. This is a beautiful chart, and I had a ton of fun starting this project. She's on a scroll frame. That's kind of a fun process for me to use too. So this is, let me just double check, it is a 32 count Lugana. It's hand dyed by Rolanda Fabric, stitched in DMC. So the fabric really gives you this like sky look, I guess you could say, in clouds. And the rainbow is looking so beautiful. I started this project at the middle top of the chart, and it was extremely fun to get those colors in, just to like little tiny block stitching where you can like stitch the yellow, and then you go into light green and light blue. And it was so fun to do. So I have completed just the top, her first top wing, and a little bit of her second. I'm just looking at my picture. I need to grab it because I feel like, did I actually finish both wings? Okay, so I did these two here, but there's two more wings down at the bottom. So basically I stopped right where I started to see her hair. And next time I pick this up, I'm gonna stitch some of her colors of her hair and get her face in. Oh, that's gonna be so fun to do. And that is gonna be a ton of fun. You can see there's a lot of spaces in her hair because I believe there's going to be a ton of beads and back stitching. And what's kind of fun about this this fairy, she's got makeup on. So she's got blue eyeshadow and red lips. That's fun. That's very fun. But look at her dress. To me, this is epic. This is an epic stitch. I love Joan Elliott. I'm becoming a big fan, and the more I stitch on these projects, the more I'm like really enjoying sort of the simplicity of them. They remind me a lot of Mirabilia, but but a simpler form. Not as many color changes, and there's just a great flow to her charts. But I'm excited. Every time I show this picture to my daughter, she's like, Mom, those ribbons are gonna be so fun to do. She's like, hurry up and get a ribbon done. Like, look at this, how it changes colors. And even these parts of her dress where it's folds, the folds showed the different ruffles and the different colors. Ooh, and this one, ooh, so good. So I'm excited to get back to this one again. I'm happy and thrilled with my new start. And it's been a lot of fun stitching on this scroll frame. I can stitch in bed, which I love to do. I love to have it's sturdy enough that it can sit on top of the bed, and I can stitch away. And also watching TV, this is comfortable on the couch as well. So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go to some more of my summer stitching. I had a goal this summer to finish Maya Mermaid. She was a birthday start the year before, and so for the month of August, I really was trying to bring out my birthday starts and stitch on them in the month of August. And this project here, Maya Mermaid, is a free chart from the Mirabilia website. It is from the 2017 Australian retreat, and it's just a little mini. I really love this project. She's gorgeous. And I was hoping to finish her this summer. I didn't get that far. I actually, I wasn't in the mood to bead, and there's not a ton left on this to go. I have stitched all of her, all of the X's have been completed, and I've done the back stitching in her face and her arms and body. And there's these cute little wisps, I like to call them. I fully stitched the tail. And you can see there's a lot of little spots in her that are missing, and those are going to be all beads. And something I have been thinking about, this is done on a 36 count linen, which I normally stitch on 32. So the fabric is a lot smaller, not a lot smaller, but it is smaller. And I'm a little afraid that the beads that I have are going to be a little bit too big. So what I have done is I've gone through my collection of beads, and I have pulled out some colors that are similar to the stitch and picked out like petite beads. So instead of using the regular size, these are the minis. So I have a mini silver picked out, and I have a mini pearl that will go in her necklace. The silver ones are going to go in her hair, and they're sort of like a crown. And I also have some crystals that I'm going to put in them. It's not called for on the chart, but I'm going to try to find a spot to put them in her crown. And I also have this really beautiful heart charm that is very like oceany looking, that I think is going to be really pretty. And I've come up where I'm going to put it. In the design, there are some beads that go all through her necklace here. And you can see there's a little bit, it shoots out here. And so the necklace is kind of floating in the water. And at the end of the necklace, I'm gonna put the purple heart. I'm sorry, the blue heart. So it's sort of like it's hanging on the end of her necklace. It's sort of where I've decided to put it. And then I couldn't find in my collection some great oceany colors that would go in her tail. So what I have decided to do is to use Krynic to add the sparkle that will go through her tail. I have a couple of colors. I'm going to try a number 4 braid. I'm not sure if it's going to be too thick or stand out too much. I might use it in the darker, this color. It is 085. I think I'm going to use this on the darker colors up here. And then I also have a blending filament that I might use 2 strands of, because blending filament is a lot thinner. And I think I'm going to put this, I mean, this screams mermaid, right? And I think I might try throughout here, and there's some in through her tail as well. So it'll give it a really fun sparkle, just sort of like you see here. This is very sparkly. That is blending filament, 2 strands, a silver color. So I think it'll give it the sparkle that I need, and also, you know, solve the problem of maybe the beads being a bit too big for the stitch. But I'm excited still to get back to this and finish it. I took my time, I finished the stitching, and I have a plan so that the next time I pick this up, I will be ready to try the things that I've thought about. So maybe, I'm not sure, should I wait till next summer maybe to finish her? I might, so we'll see. There's still a few more days of summer left. The first day of autumn is September 22nd, so I still could reach my goal by finishing her before the end of summer. We'll see though, because I have Halloween calling me. I have Shakespeare's fairies screaming at me like, please come stitch me. Here is another chart. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Sampling. That was a birthday start in 2021. This is a big stitch. I feel like this is a project I see a lot of floss tubers have in their collection and have started. And like, I was one of those people who used to watch a lot of Flosstube and saw many stitchers stitching on this before I had started. And it was a chart that it was one of the first ones I had kitted up and started when I started my Flosstube. It's amazing. So here's what it looks like now. I have been working on the middle block, which if you have been watching my channel for a while, I tend to save the best for last. And in this chart, there's a lot going on, but the witches in the center and the cauldron and the cat and the owl and the bats and everything, in my opinion, is the best one in this whole design. They all have different blocks that have different, you know, elements of Halloween, which I love. But overall, the witch in the center is something I've been dying to do. And, you know, I'm taking the advice from my viewers. I had a viewer say, Samantha, just do it. Just do it. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, on this one, this is a large stitch. Let's do it. You know, it's time. I have done a lot of work on this project, and it feels like a midway through the chart reward. Maybe I might only stitch half of it and save the other half for when I'm a little bit closer along to completing this stitch. But for now, I am working on the middle block, and I accomplished a lot. This is stitched on 40 count linen. It is called Legacy by Picture This Plus, and I believe it is the called for fabric. I think it looks amazing. I'm very happy to have all the blocks stitched. And I think in the future, if I do another Hawk Run Hollow, I will do that again. But I've been thinking a lot about if I do another big project like this, I might do it differently. I have another one. I have Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, and I've been thinking a lot about this stitch. I bring it out every autumn. I'm like, I want to stitch it, but I feel like this is, you know, Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow is such a big project. I want to get a little bit farther along before I start another one. But I want to describe a little bit about how I would attempt this if I were to start this project. I do want to do the top pumpkins first. You know, that is a great part of the design. It's going to be very fun to stitch. And then I'm going to do the blocks, the outline of each chart. And then I think what I will do is every time I would pick this up, maybe every autumn even, to start a block and stitch as far as I can get on it. And if I don't complete it, that's okay. And then the next time I pick it up, start a new block, get as, you know, maybe get the outline of this house done, get the windows in, and then jump to the next block and just keep going. I saw someone stitch it this way and I just thought it was genius, because for a long time you could see the parts of the stitch and what each block had in it, even though it wasn't completed. You know, maybe it had the outline of the moon and maybe some of the witch done, and you know, oh, that's the witch block. Oh, this one over here has the owls. And it just looked so cool. And I want to try that instead of completing one block at a time. Next time. Those are my plans. I haven't bought fabric for this stitch yet. I've been thinking about that. This one has given me a little bit of trouble because it's such a long stitch. You need sort of a different cut of fabric than you're used to buying, you know, with a fat half or a fat quarter. Like, I feel like you're gonna need a whole yard, if that sounds right, so that you can cut this really long strip. And then I guess the other half of the fabric would be, maybe you would save it and do, I believe there's a spring at Run Hollow that's sort of the same long shape too. So those are some of my thoughts. I haven't yet found the right fabric that I'm going to do this on yet. The day will come one day, it'll come to me, or maybe when I'm a little bit farther along on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, I will make it a focus to find, you know, a fabric that will be good for it. But this is my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Feeling very proud of myself for how far I did come. I left some pieces I still need to do, like, you know, I have the outline of the owl done, but the eyes still need to be put in. There's some stitching through the body. There's still some stitching in here, and you know, there's some spaces where I left that I will come back to next time I pick this up. I was really hoping to get her arms in so you could see her arms, because she's putting like a frog in the cauldron or something. That'd be fun to do. But there it is. Yeah. I find that this time of year, August, September, is when that, you know, urge to stitch on Halloween really kicks in. Sometimes, like, as you get close to Halloween, it fades. You might just want to work on one of your Halloween type projects, you know, as you lead up to Halloween, and then once it's over, it's like, yep, on to Christmas. But here's another chart that I have been wanting and dying to stitch. This is called Grimm's Garden, and it is designed by Sarcy Girl, and she's local here in Winnipeg. This came out in 2022, and there's some of the pieces in this chart are my absolute favorite. I wanted to talk about it again because, like, I'm tempted to just, I have some fabric. I think I have a 40 count vintage country mocha that I think would be great for this. And I would just love to, like, get this started and stitch something, you know, these little skeleton hands, or this berry bowl with all the skulls in it. Like, there's so many cool elements to this stitch. I absolutely love it. The snail. These are rib cages. Like, Christy, she's an amazing designer. You may know her from her 2020 pandemic sampler that she designed. That was a freebie. This is a freebie too. Every time I talk about her, I always forget to link her, you know, where you can get the free charts, and I'm going to remember to do that this time. And you can look up, you know, the 2020 pandemic sampler if you want, or if you're interested in stitching Grimm's Garden like I am, you can find the chart there and download it. It's awesome. Look at the tree, the stars, the spiders, the key. This is going to be really fun. And I'm going to leave this out on my table because I could just get out, you know, a few of the colors and stitch the skeleton hands. That'd be fun to do. So I'm going to do that, I think. Here is another project. I'm going to show you one more project before I talk about some of the other things on my table. This is Owl Forest Embroidery 100 Owls. this was a free stitch along a few years ago. Might have been 2021 or something, a while back. And I have recently downloaded all of the chart and got a start on this year. I really love this one. And there is 100 owls in the chart. So it's kind of fun every time you complete another one, sort of a countdown to 100. And so when I brought this out, I'm stitching it in the parts just like the stitch along has laid out for me. And this is what was missing. When I first started this chart, I actually started in the corner and stitched this owl and a little bit of this owl border so that I could get into the middle and get into, this is actually part 1. And so I did things a little bit backwards. And so this is part 1, part 2, this was part 3, and this was part 4, and I had already completed half of part 5. And so what I needed to do is go across the other way and get that in. And I did. So that was really rewarding, just to complete that, because I feel like I've got, now I'm in line with the stitch along. When I pick up part 6, I can just stitch it. And then part 7, like I know where I am in the design. There's no guessing and, you know, no room for error on miscounting. So I've got it, got it in. And a goal of mine for this year is to complete sort of, I can't remember how many parts there are, but basically there's a border that goes down to about here and on this side. And then there are a set of owls here and over here. So it kind of gives me like, if you were to break this into 3s, it's like a third of the design. And then the next year after that, it's probably more than that, but the next year after that, I wanted to do sort of go across, come down, do the next section. So the plan is to complete this in 3 years and really enjoy each part of the stitch along. And yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. So I'm getting close. I have 2, maybe 3 parts left to do before the end of the year, which I can totally do. I've kind of been with my owl forest. I have Treasure Island, which is very close to being completed, and 100 owls. And I've just been, every time I film a floss tube, now that I've shown 100 owls, I'm gonna work on Treasure Island next time and show that in my next video. And it should be a finish. So that will be really exciting. And then after that, I'll just have 100 owls to do. I'm really, really hoping that in 2026, Owl Forest Embroidery comes out, because they do a yearly stitch along or a new free stitch along every year. And I'm really hoping for 2026 that they come out with a new one that is sort of like going back to their storybook themed stitch alongs, because they've done Emerald City, which is Wizard of Oz. They've done Alice in Wonderland and Treasure Island. So I'm like dying. Come on, like what's it gonna be next year? And I'm really hoping that it's something that I'm gonna love and want to kit up and start. If not, I will just keep trugging along on this Owl Forest Embroidery 100 owls following into next year. But I really, really enjoy their projects. I love the floss, I love the designs, and that feeling of like the stitch along is laid out for you into parts. And I love that because it gives me like something to work on, and then I can stop, share in the video, and then on to the next part. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay, I'm gonna jump into, but I have many more whips to show you that I've been working on. I've been a busy girl, but I wanted to just take a small break and talk a little bit about, I recently, I go to the Winnipeg Embroidery Guild. I belong to the guild, and we take the summers off for July and August. And we came back in September and had a wonderful meeting. And there were a lot of new people, a lot of new faces that had joined, and was really exciting. We had a great time. And throughout the meeting, I was very shocked. And very pleasantly surprised to see some familiar faces. And I had received some gifts from a few of the guild members, which was really exciting. And I also had entered my name into a free draw and I purchased some tickets and I won a prize. So I have some really exciting things to show you that I have acquired. First, I wanted to talk about my friend Nicole. She had gifted me, she came right up to me and said, hi, how you doing? How was your summer? And she's like, I've got some goodies for you. And so she's pulling out of her bag some of these really amazing charts. This is Butternut Road and it is called Catch the Wind. And you will notice that it is a pattern I don't have, and you'll see behind me I have a fully stitched one. It was a pattern I found, like a design that I'd found at the thrift store. And so it was a thrift rescue. And when I saw it, I immediately knew like that's coming home with me and it's going to be displayed on my shelf. And I absolutely love the colors. It's beautiful. And now I have the chart for when I wish to have the desire to stitch it myself. How exciting. And Nicole knows that I have been collecting, Butternut Road, lavender lace, Told in the Garden. And so she knew this needed to come home to me and be added to the collection. So I'm very excited about that. And she also she pulls out of her bag just a couple of Mirabilias. And not only I don't have these, and I have quite a collection of Mirabilias going, but these are the very first, I believe, these are the first 2 Mirabilia charts that were ever made. This is, they're from 1993, and this is Damask Roses. Thank you, Nicole, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. You can tell these are the older charts, just the envelope looks different. And the pictures had sort of like a floral background, and her newer ones didn't have that. And 1993, oh my gosh, these are old, vintage, very collectible, and I'm very excited to add them to my collection. This is the first one, and the second one she's gifted me is called The Fairy Moon, 1993. And if you know me, you know that I love fairies. I stitch a lot of fairies. And when I came home from the guild meeting and showed these to my daughters, because they were always like, Mom, what'd you get? Like taking out the bag and showing them all the fun things that I had been gifted. And both of my daughters saw this chart and fell in love with it. They were like, Mom, this reminds me a lot of Stargazer. And if you've heard me talk about Stargazer, which I'm almost done, I was worried that my daughters, they both love it. And I was like, I may have to stitch Stargazer twice so that they both have one day and that I could give to them. And I think I'm going to stitch the Fairy Moon. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to, I don't know. I might decide, one is for one daughter and one is for the other daughter. Or I might have stitched this one twice. I'm not sure because they both fell in love with it. One daughter wasn't in love with the wings and would like it stitched without the wings. And my other daughter said, I love the wings, as do I. So we'll see. This is a beautiful, beautiful chart. It is called for Amber Linen, 28 count, which is also, I believe, the same color that I stitched Stargazer on. So that would actually be kind of fun to have them both stitched on the same color so that they're kind of a set and could be, on the wall together or separate. That would be awesome. So this is a 2026 start for me. I'm very excited about those. And Nicole had also passed along a chart that she said that I could give away to a viewer. This is the Prairie Schooler Christmas Eve chart. It is book number 158. It is a chart that I actually have in my collection, and so I am going to offer up this chart. If you are interested, use the word Christmas in the description, like in below in the comment section. Use the word Christmas, and on the next video I will do a draw. That was very nice of her. Thanks, Nicole. That's awesome. Okay, and she had also gifted me a few other charts. This one's Stardust, and it is called Water Rock Knob. I'm going to take it out of the plastic so you can see what the picture looks like. This is very beautiful. So here is a new chart to add to my collection. Look at that. Wow. Very, very pretty. It looks very fun. Beautiful colors. And that would look beautiful completed and stitched and put on the wall. She also had gifted me, this is Parka Polar Bear. It is from the Winnipeg Embroidery Guild. It's a chart from celebrating 50 years. And I didn't have this. So that's very cool. I believe they're ornament size. Or like it shows some different ways that you can finish it. That's cute. We had a whole polar bear themed for the 50th anniversary, and so it makes sense that there was a polar bear design. She also gifted me First Nations art and other Victorian designs. This is from the Victoria Sampler. Look at this, totem poles. I have never seen a chart put together like this. This is amazing. And I would absolutely love to stitch these. Wow. Very cool colors. It doesn't look too complicated either. It looks like it would be a really fun stitch. So I very much appreciated that. I don't know how she knows, but she knows the things that I like. Also from a new member that had started coming to the meetings, is someone that I have met a few times before and, you know, talked to a bit on Facebook and that sort of thing. And she knew that I was collecting Teresa Wensler charts, and she came up to me with a gift. This is a Teresa Wensler kit. It is called English Garden Welcome. Thank you so much, Brenda. I'm very, very excited to add this to my collection. I love the colors. I believe it is a chart that I do have in my collection, but now I have the full kit. And very excited. It comes with a 28 count even weave fabric, which I would stitch it on. And this is amazing. This is amazing. I love the border with those beautiful pink colored flowers, the white swans in the center, the greenery. This is stunning. And I think it'll be a very enjoyable stitch. There's beads, there's needle, everything I could need to start this. I'm going to add it to my Teresa Wensler collection, and when the right day comes, I'm going to start this and I'm going to stitch it. Thank you so much. And then these are a couple of patterns that I pulled out of the draw that I had won. And these were the charts that I saw on top that I was like, yep, putting all my tickets in because I can't believe that this chart was there. This is a black swan design. It's a dragon chart. I believe it's called Avatar. And I recently found this chart on another Flosstube channel, and I knew I had to have it in my collection. I needed to search for this one. It is Wizard of the Wind, the third wizard in the Enchantress series, designed by Karen Weaver. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love fantasy. I love the dragons, wizards, and all the things. This is epic. I have a few Black Swan design charts in my collection, and gosh, I'm dying to start some more of them very soon. You know, and coming to see this, it was like, I really need to sort of lay out a plan for 2026 of the charts that I want to start that are like higher up on the list than others, because I have a lot of Mirabilias, but they're my favorite, so it's really hard. And I love Teresa Wensler, but I need to add a few more variety into my stitching, so this would be a great addition. This is another chart. It's by the Cricket Collection. I believe it's called Three Gables, and it has buttons from Just Another Button Company. I can see myself stitching this next month. Like, this is so cool. I don't have any sort of haunted houses stitches on their own. This would be a great addition, and I love the buttons. So there's the buttons there that they come with. I believe there is a bat and a witch's hat and some pumpkins that sort of go around the wreath in the center and then scattered throughout the design. There's a moon. Oh, this would be so fun. This would be so fun. So, boy, I wonder if I have some fabric in my collection where I could start this, because this would be really exciting. And I don't think it would be hard to kit up. Like, some fabric, there's like 10 floss colors. Already have the buttons. Yeah, I love that. Okay, and the last one that I pulled out of the freebies to show you, this is a sampler that I thought was very pretty. It's called Black Sheep Sampler, Elizabeth Designs. That's very pretty. So you got the alphabet in there, a bee skip, a sheep, and a beautiful border. I think it's a very simple stitch. That could be a lot of fun. A couple of different stitches on the back. Like, it has mostly cross stitch, but it's got a couple, one's called a herringbone variations and a double cross stitch in the design. But it has instructions on the back on how to do them, so it doesn't look too, the herringbone? I've never done that. But look, it literally tells you, like, step 1, come up in this hole. Step 2, go down in that hole. Come over here and do step 3. Like, it'd be very, very easy, easy steps to follow. Just never done that before, so that could be fun. So those are the charts, all the things that I've been wanting to share with you. And remember, if you're interested in this chart, use the word Christmas in your comment below, and I'll do a draw next time. Which reminds me, I have a chart from my Christmas in July that hasn't been claimed yet. And I wanted to give one more opportunity to the winner, because over the summer, a lot of us have vacations or take time off, or, you know, maybe we're really busy and don't have time, you know, with outdoor activities and things to see all the videos. So I have a winner here for Donner from the Christmas Eve Carriers. Honey Bunny Stitchery. You are the winner, and I hope you see this. And all you'll need to do is reach out to me at thehygge@gmail.com and send me an email and with your address, and I will ship this out to you wherever you are located. And I'm excited to pass this beautiful chart along to you. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to some stitching now, some other projects that I worked on. This is a Teresa Winsler. This is the Storyteller. This was a chart that I had started last year in 2024 for the Year of the Dragon. And I've been dying to get this out and to make some more progress on it. Earlier this year, I had completed the outline of the border. I originally only had half of the border outlined, and I wanted to get across and do a little bit more just to give me the markers as I come along and stitch more of this stitch. I would like to get to that castle. But this time around, I had decided to stitch its neck. So it's a lot of yellow stitching. You'll see through the dragon wing, there's I wanna say like 5 to 7 different colors of yellow. Some of it's a yellow by itself, some of it's blended with another DMC color, and there's a lot of like this speckled look to it, which looks really cool. And I had done that a few, like, I don't remember when I did that, actually, it was quite some time ago. But here is the top of the neck of the dragon. So underneath, this is all at the top, but underneath you'll start to see the green colors and the dark, sort of like a dark green color that will give you the shape underneath the neck, and then right to the head of the dragon, which I would love to get into the stitch. You can tell that this is a dragon, but getting his face in will just be like, yep, it's a dragon, no doubt about it, and start to see more of the shape. And like I was saying, now that I have the border in, I could jump and do the castle background. The castle is meant to look like it's far away, and I believe they're half stitches, or some of them are half stitches. So that would be kind of fun to get in. And as you can see, there's a little bit of background behind the dragon's neck and carries over onto, there's a little bit back here too. So there's a whole background. So like at some point I'm gonna get into those background colors and get the background of the castle done. Isn't this amazing? Oh my gosh, Teresa Wensler, look at that. I need to get the dragon in. So I recently saw on Facebook, there was a lady who found this stitch. She forgot she had even stitched it. It was so old, it'd been like stored away, and one day she came across it and was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I stitched this pattern. And she had completed everything on the chart except for one spot on the design. And when I saw the spot that she was missing, I was like, I know why she didn't stitch that part, or like abandon, maybe not abandon the whip, but like, I'll come back to it later kind of vibe, is right in here. She had like all of this pink feathers, not feathers, I guess they're scales. Everything else was stitched. The border was fully stitched. Everything was stitched except for this one spot. And I have been like, I wish I could show you, but it is extremely, extremely complicated. Like it is, I mean, you can just tell just by looking at the design how many multiple colors are in there. And then the back stitching is an element that you can ignore while you're going through like the stitching the X's, but it's hard. Like it's hard, you know, it's hard to block it out because it's very much like little back stitch over here, and it just goes on and on and on. And now that I know this, like I should go back to that part in the design and re-stitch some of it, like decide on one color and get it in, you know? And then maybe as I'm going along in this chart, like, oh, I want to get the neck in. Okay, well, once I've done some progress, grab another color from that pink section and get it in and get another symbol completed, because I feel like it's going to be tough to get through. If you have stitched this chart before and you have any advice for me, please leave me a comment below about how you got through that part of the design. And if you had any trouble or just how you got through it, I would be interested to know, because it does seem like it's going to be the most challenging part of the design. But I am dying to get those colors in. There's a lot of like pinks and purples. I would love to see it come together. Okay. Next up, I had a really like fun time stitching on this design. This is a Nora Corbett design. It's called Gigi, and it's from the Bewitching Pixies collection. This is Gigi. I believe I started her last year, and I have throughout the year have picked her up a few times and just done just a little bit. These ones are really easy and they don't take a long time to complete. But the last time you saw this, it had most of the black stitching done and maybe a tiny little bit of blue. And I've been wanting to get some more of the blue colors into the stitch. So here is where I am now. Isn't she incredible? Wow. So one of the things that drew me in for this chart was the little black cat. I love that part in the design. It's not an overwhelming part of the design. It's just a little black cat. And also I haven't got to the actual broom yet, but I've started to do some of the stitching to get the handle in, and like down here through her hand. Next will be like right here, there's a section that is mostly beaded, and I always save the beading closer to the end. So I'm gonna have to like just be patient and take my time and count up because there is some more stitching in the broom that is got Krynic, and there is some DMC floss in there, but I'm gonna have to be careful when I get to that part because I do have to jump up a bit. But that will be fun. That will be fun to do. And I spent some time, I wanted to get all the blue colors in her hat. This is every color that's in her dress is all up in the colors in her hat. And I got a few, I think 3 colors of blue in the design. There's a dark navy blue, and then a medium blue, and then a lighter blue. But there's still, I think, 3 more colors left to go. But isn't she looking amazing? Oh my gosh, love. This is one of my favorites. There's another one that I am thinking about starting soon. I actually have it on my table here. I've talked about it a few times. That has another black cat in it. This one is Anna. This one is, I think the next one I'm gonna start. I love her. Her braid, the ponytail out the back, the colors, the green apple, or the red apple, sorry. This is amazing. So I've been thinking a lot about that one, which I might start in October. But this is where I got to on Gigi. These are super fun. I highly recommend, you know, a Nora Corbett. If you are somebody who hasn't dived into the world of Mirabilia yet, maybe a little intimidated, a Nora Corbett design is smaller, but still gives you all the really fun elements. Like it's got Krynic and beads and back stitching, but not a ton, you know, like just the right amount. I feel like to just dip your toe, and if you can complete one of these, then you will be ready to start a Mirabilia and jump into one of those. Yeah, and they're really, really fun to do. I always suggest that when you are looking at a Mirabilia and you're thinking about starting one, I think that you should, first of all, you should absolutely love the design, fall in love with the design. But you should, in my advice, you should look for what's in the pattern, and do you see chunks of color? It's sort of what I would call block stitching, but not really. It's like when you're stitching, you know, you've got the dress and you start at the top and you just grab that one color and you work your way down into the dress, and then go back up to the top and grab another color. And so you get these like blocks of color. I find that those are the easiest ones to do. If you find a Nora Corbett or a Mirabilia in it, you can tell just by looking at the picture that it's very intricate and it's got a lot of color changes, and it's like, maybe it's roses, or, you know, there's a lot to it. Those ones can be like, for your first go around, those ones can be a little more tougher to do. I just think that if you fall in love with the design and you fall in love with the colors, just take a look at the chart and see if you can see those chunks of block stitching, and I think you will enjoy it. You know, you can see here from Shakespeare's Fairies, you can see from there the chunks of colors in her dress. Very, very enjoyable to do. Okay, here is a summer project. This was another project that was a part of my birthday starts. This one was from 2023. It's Summer Quaker by Leela Studio. I started a stitch along for my birthday, and it's called Live in the Sunshine Sal. And if you're somebody who is stitching this or wants to start this one day, you're seeing this video and you love Summer Quaker and you want to start it, you can use the hashtag Live in the Sunshine Sal and share your progress on Instagram. And if you take a look at the Instagram handle, there are many, many people who have stitched this design. And if you want some inspiration on what fabric should you stitch it on? Should you do the called for? Do you want to stitch on something different? A lot of great suggestions there to get inspired. Here is where I got to. I'm feeling very proud of myself for how far I have come on this stitch. And something I had been thinking about, and I believe I had shared this in one of my last videos, was how I wanted to complete the green, sort of like a seaweed border for the inside of the Quaker. So I only think I had it down to here. I needed to do like top and match up. I was very sad to find out that while I was stitching this, I came across an error that I had made and had to take out some of the border. Not a ton, but it was more the process of trying to figure out where I made the mistake in the border. And I had realized it was actually, like, I thought it was down here, and I was like, where did I miss it? You know, did I make a mistake up here? What happened? And I knew that the last time I had stitched this, I had stitched this, you know, sort of these corners, and everything was lining up. Every time I matched it everywhere, it was lining up. So I was so confused. And I had stitched just a little bit of this border. And I think it was because it was a page, like it was sort of the page break. And I had made a mistake like right in through here. So it wasn't that big of a deal. It just took longer to figure out where I had made it. So I just had to take out just a little bit, and then my border matched. Thank goodness. I know we all feel that stress when we're stitching the border, like, oh, I hope it matches. And when it does, it's like a little celebration, like, yeah, I did it right. But I made a mistake and had to figure it out, and I did. So that's why I'm feeling very proud of myself for getting this far on this stitch. I also had a little mini goal. I wanted to, this middle section is really broken up into 3 parts. You've got the top sky, where the words are, and then you've got this middle section where the waves are, and the houses, the lighthouse. It kind of stretches across. And then you've got the underneath the waves where it's like the ocean and the mermaid and the seaweed and that. So I wanted to get the top part of the design in. So I did the sun and the cloud to get that completed. And then I have this, like, I want to complete the waves across. Not necessarily jump one, like do the houses, but get the waves in and stretch across. That way I can do ocean, I could do houses, and kind of bounce around in there and make some progress, because it is a very heavy stitching in the center of this design. This part, easy, 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 easy. And I'm tempted to just get it in, but I'm gonna do a little bit of back and forth, a little of this, a little of that. And we'll see me hopefully complete this, you know, at the end, come to the end, and not just have just the center of the stitch needed to be done. I think it'll be a challenge. So yeah, there's Summer Quaker. I'm stitching it on a 36 count linen. It's hand dyed by Rolanda, and I believe it's a linen, and it's been very, very enjoyable to stitch on. I love the sky blue color that it matches with the navy blue stitching. Yeah, I'm stitching it 2 strands over 2. So it's got this really plush look to it. Having a lot of fun. Summer Quaker. So I wanted to make some more progress on that during the month of August, and I did. And now it's time to talk about Autumn Quaker. First day of autumn is September 22nd, and I'm going to bring out my Autumn is as Joyful. I have a stitch along for this one that I started last year in actually 2020. I believe I started it last fall in 2024. So it's 1 year up and coming. There are, I wanted to say something. Oh, I want to jump back to Summer Quaker just for a second before I show you my progress on Autumn. Pam from Just Keep Stitching, she reached out to me last month and said, have you ever thought about or had anybody change the lettering on Summer Quaker? So through the design, you can see the letters S-U-M-M, and it goes E-R. And I remember having heard some people complain about that, like not complain, but sort of like wish that they had the E and the R was back like in a different order so that it would go S-U-M-M-E-R. And the more I look at the chart now, I'm like, yeah, it needs to be E-R, not, you know, R-E. And it looks to me like in the chart, it would be very, very simple to make that switch. And I might do that when it comes I haven't stitched this section yet. So I'm glad, that I hadn't stitched it already so that I can make that decision when I get closer to it, if I want to switch the letters. And so what made me think of that was when you look at autumn, there's a couple of different, there's 2 words in there. There's autumn and there's fall. And it is very jump all over in the design, if you can find it there. There's the F, the A, and the LL. So in this one, it doesn't really matter, I feel like, because there's so much going on. And I'm noticing here, she's got her initials, a spot where you can put initials in the chart, which I love. So I'm excited about that. But in this one, it doesn't matter. But in the winter Quaker, I went and looked and I was like, oh, it's in an order, kind of like summer where it goes, like you can see it spelt out winter. And so I might make that change when I do the summer one. This one doesn't need any changes. This is a beautiful chart. Absolutely beautiful. There were people who, the quote in the center didn't like it, and so Leela Studio actually came out with a second verse that you can use and is downloadable for free on her personal website. And if it was something that you were like, oh, I would totally change that, you could have a second option, which I thought was really great. I'm gonna stitch it as it is. I don't mind, but I love the fall colors in this one. And I'm stitching it on a 32 count Lugana called Platinum, which is one of my favorite. I love platinum. It is just like a staple that I think every stitcher should have in their collection. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. And this one I had decided to stitch instead of the linen. I went with Lugana because I am falling in love with Lugana. And this is how far I have gotten so far on the autumn Quaker. And I think with this design, I'm taking it in a different approach. I am gonna do sort of all the medallions all the way around and save the center for last, because the center is just the perfect size. It's not overwhelming. You get this scenery in the center and the squirrels on top, the net, like that's awesome. I might get the shape in, but I'm gonna save the center block for last and stitch the Quaker and the medallions. Very, very fun. Where am I gonna go next? I don't know. I'm gonna wait until September 22nd when I bring this out and really dive into the chart and see where I wanna go. I do have an inkling that it might be the center motif at the top where you see the squirrels in the leaf. I might have to do that or work my way towards it. I can tell I have, oh no, I can get there. It's right beside this one here, so that could be fun. But I also love the witch hat and the crow and this turkey down at the bottom. So lots of fun stuff left in this chart to go. You can tell I'm not as far along on that one compared to my summer Quaker, but that's okay. I'm enjoying the process. I have one more project to show you that I've stitched on, and then I have a few more things to share. But this is a pattern that I have been working on all year. This is my Gold Collection Dimensions kit. It's an enchanted ornament stocking. Every single month on the 25th, I bring this out and I stitch on it for one day. Sometimes it ends up being just one day, and other times I might feel inspired to stitch on it for 2 to 3 days and then put it away. I don't stitch on it for too long. Just enough to make some progress, see where I go. And it's been like a challenge for myself to make some progress on this stocking kit, but also I'm excited to see where I end up at the end of the year, see how far I can get to. So with this, here is where I am. I know a lot of you, when you see this, I get a lot of comments on my videos being like, oh, I wish you would just stitch on it, like stitch on it for a month, you know, or they've been saying things like, I really enjoy seeing the progress that you've made all year long. It's been kind of fun to watch the, you know, each month and see where you go. So that's been fun. So this time around, I had, basically I was working up in this section here. There is I've been working on the greenery for some time, and you'll see here there is another ornament that I haven't got to, but there's a branch that goes all behind the ornament and through the chain. And so that's what I've been working on. And I made quite a bit of progress. I want to get the branch in, and then I want to come in between the two ornaments. There's some shading in between the two of it, and you'll really get the dimension of there being another ornament there. But I'm not going to start the next ornament yet. I have more work to do all through here. There's like the background, half stitching, there's back stitching to do, so there's still a ton of work. So if I were to get to the sort of like, this is a page break in the design, if it was to complete everything at the top, back stitching, not everything, like no beading or anything, but get the back stitching in and all the X's completed, then next year or the next time I get focused on this piece, I'll be able to work on the second half of the stitch, which I think is going to be the easier part. So this ornament and this ornament, very easy looking at the pattern to do. And then all the in between, the leaves are bigger. Look at how big the berries are. Like, I'll be able to grab a color and stitch a little bit more, so that like up here it was very like stitch till the strand is gone, but you're kind of all over, and it's a lot of changing colors, where I feel like in here you'll get a little bit more block stitching and it will be a little bit more enjoyable to stitch. But this is like the bottom half of the stocking is the second page. So that would be fun to like get that first page done. I've had this as a whip for quite some time, but it's a dimensions kit. They can be, you know, full of dimension and full of challenges, and they take some time, but it's very, very rewarding. Look at how great this is looking so far. I'm stitching it on the called for fabric. I believe it is a 16 count Aida. Yeah, 16 count light blue Aida. Beautiful. Yay. So that's what I got. And then lastly, I wanted to share some things that came in the P.O. box this past month. I've been spoiled and I wanted to share with you some of the things that have come through the P.O. box that I have. So first up, I have a postcard from Denise. She's been sending me postcards and I absolutely love them, and all of them have like a quote on the back, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, "Dear Samantha, August rain, the best of the summer gone, and the new fall not yet born, the odd uneven time." This is a quote by Sylvia Plath. That's beautiful. And she's got a question back here. She says, "What delights have summer brought you, Samantha?" And she also says, we have woodchuck triplets. I have named them, I hope I say this right, well, I can't even say this word. Well, Wilhelmina. I'm just gonna spell it because I can't get through it. And she's also named it Theodore and Geraldine. Now that sounds exciting. Woodchuck triplets. That sounds like a fun, exciting summer adventure on its own. That sounds fun. And for her question of what delights have summer brought you, I have spent some time this summer, you know, spending quality time with the family. It has been like a simple summer. Nothing exciting, crazy has happened. nothing over the top, but a very relaxing summer and quality time with the family. It has been great. One of my youngest daughter recently got her driver's license, or her learners, I should say, and had been taking some lessons. And so that was like that was fun. Still is kind of fun and exciting. So that's something that we were working on this summer, and a new challenge, a new chapter. And I'm just spending time at the beach. I got many new freckles because I spent quite a bit of time in the sun. So that was fun. Summers, you know, at this time of year where you start to see the leaves change colors, I find, you know, I enjoy fall. The end of September is my absolute favorite. Like that last week of September, favorite week out of the whole year. It's amazing. You know, where you got the green grass, but the leaves are falling, and you get some crunchy leaves and the beautiful like colors and everything. Here in Winnipeg, Canada, we do experience really hard winters. And so as soon as I start to see like the colder days come, I'm like, no, no, it's happening. Winter's coming. And so I try to just like soak in every ounce of summer as I could possibly get. And, you know, when I'm out driving and I'm going somewhere, I'm like, oh, isn't it so nice that the roads are clear and I don't have to drive through snow and ice and all the things. I try to enjoy even that, you know, every little bit I can. Thank you for your postcard, Denise. I loved it. I loved hearing about your woodchucks. That's really fun. And I got another letter, and this one is from Rosanna, and she had come across a Joan Elliott dragon design in her collection. And so she passed it along to me. I wish I could share it with you because it doesn't have a cover photo, but it is a beautiful, it says Make a Wish, and it has a really fun, colorful magic dragon. So I thank you for thinking of me and for dropping this in the mail. I really did enjoy reading your letter. Thank you. And I have another card here. This one has a beautiful card reminding me of summer, all the flowers. This comes from Misty. And Misty says she really enjoys my floss tubes. And she started stitching as a little girl, and she really enjoys the enthusiasm that I share for cross stitch in the videos, and she finds it very inspiring, and I appreciate her kind words. She had sent me a calendar that she found, thrifting. She found a calendar, and she thought of me and said I needed to have it in my collection. And so the calendar, actually I'm gonna open the package because I hadn't done that yet. It is a keepsake calendar from 2014, so it's quite an oldie, but it's not the calendar we're after here. Inside the calendar is many, I guess 12 patterns. And in the chart, in the back, you can see it is December 2014, and it is a Joan Elliott stitch. Needed to add that in my collection. I wonder, oh, perfect. There it is. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. She has wings. Well, she's a fairy. Christmas ornament, beautiful Christmas colors. I could see myself stitching this. I so appreciate you thinking of me and for sending this to me. I know, like, sending things in the post, not cheap to do. So I really appreciate these gifts. A lot of the things that I've been adding to my collection, like it's growing. I've got a growing collection going on, but it's exciting to go through it like I just did recently and going through my projects and seeing what charts I have, like what do I want to stitch? It's kind of like shopping at a store where you just like, what should I start? What should I do? And so I'm gonna add this to my collection, and when I'm looking for another Christmas Joan Elliott stitch, I can come to the calendar and grab that. There's some other beautiful charts in here too. Sometimes it's fun to just look and see what there is. Look at those pumpkins. This one too, the September sampler. Very, very cool. So thank you so much. And she also had thrown in another little chart that reminded her of my Teresa Wentzler trade wins that I had just started not too long ago. One of my new starts for 2025. And this is adorable. I love it. It even has the little charm. Very cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm gonna put your card behind me here. And I have a postcard from Denise. Where'd I put that? I will find it and put it behind me as well. Okay, next up. Beautiful flower. I appreciate these cards. This one says, Samantha, I love your beautiful work, from Luann. Thank you, Luann. And she had sent me a fruit and floral wreaths by Teresa Wentzler. Don't have this yet. I don't have this one. So that's very exciting. She must have been watching my channel and seeing what charts I had, and she found one in her collection and sent it my way. I so appreciate that. My Teresa Wentzler collection sure is growing, and it has everything to do with all of you and sharing your charts with me. Thank you so much. I have, and that's not it, I have one more, and it is another Teresa Wentzler gift. This one comes from Rachel. She sent me a beautiful card. You will recognize this pattern, Strawberry Thief by William Morris. Very, very popular design. I love this. Now, Rachel had reached out to me and had said that she had a Teresa Wentzler chart that if I was interested, I could have. And it is called Spring Fairy. And I don't have these. I believe there's four seasons of these fairies. And I'm so excited to add this to my collection. You all know I love stitching fairies. And I'm currently stitching Lily Maiden right now. And I believe Lily Maiden is going to be my very first Teresa Wentzler finish. She was the first one I ever had started, and so she needs to be the first one done. And when she is, I'm going to stitch this one, the Spring Fairy. And having a look through the chart, I always do this, you know, when I first get a chart in my hand, it's like open it up and look inside and see what I think. And just looking at the chart, it is simple. Like for Teresa Wentzler, it's simple. And I feel like, yeah, there are spots, like her wings look a little more, you know, a lot to them, but the border seems easy. I actually love the border shape, how you've got this circular inside the square. I love that. And then her wings pop out and the flowers carry through in the leaves. That's awesome. I love that effect. Here's sort of a closer look of the fairy itself. Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. I love this. And then she spoiled me with a present. This is some hand-dyed floss from the UK, and it is called Ancient Earth, the colors. This is amazing. These colors are gorgeous. Love them. This is awesome. I'm gonna have to find something that I can use to stitch with this. Those colors, it's kind of nice because it's a pack of colors that all go together. Oh, in love. I can see that there's like slight variegation as you would stitch these colors. They're gorgeous. So I'm so excited to thank you for this beautiful treat. I love it. This is amazing. Thank you. So I'm adding my cards there, and I believe, I have one more thing that I found on my own. I have been thrifting, and there has been a new thrift store that opened up recently. I've been like, that's exciting. And I found, not too long ago, I had found this beautiful fabric that I plan to put into project bags. And I've been sort of like, I haven't gone to an actual fabric store yet to find some colors that would go with this amazing fabric. But I, did find this fabric while I was thrifting. And when I saw the pattern, I was like, oh, that could be fun for like, inside of a project bag. It's got those kind of fall colors. And when I saw the tag, it's called Autumn Love by Lori Holt, Bee in My Bonnet. So we all know those, we all know her. So that was exciting to come across this. And this is like quite a big piece. There's like a little square missing out of this whole thing. So I'm gonna put this to good use and find some more projects that I could like use this for. I think it's stunning. And I think it kind of does go with that panel. So this could be good like border or the inside of a bag or something. So I have been thinking a lot about my space and creating a spot for my sewing machine so that it's like available. Yeah, I'm still in the process of like cleaning my space. Really helped me think of like some new ideas and what I would like to do, but I would like to get another like an actual table for my sewing machine so that I could make some project bags. That would be really fun. But that was my, you know, I found another, you know, fabric while thrifting, so that was really exciting. And that is it. I have gone through all of my works in progress. I hope that you got some stitching in and that you had a good time visiting today. I'll be back again soon. I will be working on my Autumn as Joyful Sal coming up on September 22nd. And hopefully you will see some progress on Shakespeare's Fairies next time. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.